What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 3 different Grayscale trusts today. We'll be going over ZCSH, the Zcash Grayscale Trust for Ethan Gallstad. We will be talking about the LTCN Litecoin Grayscale Trust for Goofy Titan, and Bitcoin Cash BCHG for Goofy Titan as well. So without any further ado, let's get into this. If you guys have any requests, you'd like to see something done, whether it's a Grayscale Trust, a crypto, a stock, a commodity, a whatever, if I can put it on the chart, I will chart it for you. Just leave it in the comments. I will leave a link in the description to the Discord if you'd like to join the Discord. And without any more of that, let's get into this. So I already drew a fib here on Zcash. Specifically, Ethan, you were talking about bull cycle, like end of cycle stuff, and I don't know. I would assume I'm going to have to look at Zcash here just to get a feel for it, because to my knowledge, I feel like Zcash is irrelevant, and it might be something forgotten about. But this chart, if it is what it kind of looks to be, I'm actually going to delete this fib here. It's looking kind of good, right? You came down, which that's basically all your history, and then you started accumulating for a long time. You're showing signs of strength that you haven't seen before. You're getting a decent amount of volume here. Is this like a last stop sell-off before you start going lower, or are you about to take things higher? I don't know. The week came all the way down. You got a nice wick going so far. 2 days left in the week. Who knows what happens? But let's actually. I want to look at Zcash itself. Would it just be ZC? I forget. Zcash. ZEC. That's what it is. Let's look at it here. I mean, kind of got a double bottom going on. What about the USD maybe? No, because Coinbase deleted it, right? Crypto. Yeah, there's more history there. But there's got to be something with volume. Kraken probably, yeah. Okay. So you are around all-time lows. So that old saying, buy low, sell high, that definitely comes into effect here. So as far as the trust goes, I'm sure it is a good time to get in, even though it's up compared to this. Triple bottoms, and yes, I would call this a triple bottom. I wouldn't include that as a low personally. Let's see. I mean, it's on that chart too. I wonder. Gemini's doesn't got it. It's on Binance too. I mean, I still wouldn't count it. Let's add it. Let's chalk it up to a fat finger or something like that. Just weird, kind of like a scam wick, right? That amount of price action in just like 1 day, 1 week, whatever it was. Like I don't know if that's something I'd like to account for. Maybe I'm cherry picking, maybe I'm not. But in my opinion, I'm just doing my analysis how I would normally do it. But anyways. Looking at this from that high there to this low, because that is like the all-time high aside from like where you started off, and then to the all-time low there, aside from the scam wick. You came all the way up to your 618 area, broke through it, found resistance on your 786, came back down. You're finding a double bottom. There's at least a chance to go back to $83 for Zcash, and then with that, you even also have a chance to go back to $200. Much past that, I'm not so certain. Right, you still do have lower highs. That's not a perfectly drawn straight line, but you could see something like this. Zcash might have some kind of resurrection where it does go up. I feel like I have been hearing a lot more about Zcash this cycle than I did last cycle. But I don't know, man. Some things have been good, some things have not been good. So I mean, but they're all theories. It's not like I have like any insider information or anything, but the monthly does look pretty decent, not gonna lie, at least for like a buy here. I do think there's other cryptos that'll probably stand to gain more, but just looking at that, keeping that in mind, I'm gonna go back to the trust now. So if that looks good in price, I would assume that this grows in price too. If we were to take this move here from the high to the low, maybe to like you know what? I actually want to take this move from this high to this low. It's not common to not see your 1272 whenever you come up here like that. You did. Oh man, you're not. You're looking like you want to break below the 618, but you're very resilient. You're not giving it up. So that's actually a sign of strength right there. You are holding the 50 on the weekly. In my opinion, I think we're going to see an impending sell-off across crypto in either starting tomorrow or over the next couple weeks. Maybe, maybe it takes a couple weeks. Sometimes these sell the news events don't happen immediately. Oftentimes they do, but let's just see how it goes, because we're still kind of hovering right now with Bitcoin and everything else. So it's all dependent on that. But right now, this does look kind of nice. I would assume that you are making your way back up with the potential. You're at $2.40 right now. Maybe you can move all the way up to $12.83, $18. What's the ratio? What's the ratio, man? ZCSH, Greyscale. That much, right? So 8.56% per Zcash. If we're assuming that maybe it could see prices around $200, 8% of that would be around $16, right? So I'm like, well, 8.5%, right, would be, what would that be? $17. Right? Yeah. Sorry. ZCSH, Greyscale Trust. I mean, your 2618's all the way up here. 2272 is up here. You could see prices up there. I'm very skeptical on this one. I don't want to say that it has the same potential as LTCN or BCHG. I really don't. I could be missing something. There could be some stuff that I don't know about with this thing, but I am a technical guy. I'm not a fundamental guy, but I do look at fundamentals whenever it comes to things that I personally invest in, but this one, to me, I just feel like there's better prospects out there personally, unless there's something that I don't know about and it's about to have a resurrection, like a major resurgence. I wonder. I know I keep going back and forth, man. I know. Not a whole lot of volume there. Decent volume. Some of the most volume you've seen in a while. Not a bad looking week, but you see, the thing is though, looking at the price for what it is, you're also, even though yes, you are near your all-time lows, right? Like you're finding like a triple bottom, excluding the scam wick that happened, you're still forming lows. Where most cryptos are forming higher lows, this is forming lower lows, where everything else has been forming higher lows since like well before this even. Like some cryptos have been forming higher lows since 2022, the end of 2022, or the very, very beginning of 2023, and this thing's just been going down. So yes, you're finally seeing some volume in down here, but again, I'm not too excited about the prospects that this thing could offer. And I know that might not be what some people want to hear, but I'm just giving it, how I see it. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. Hey, look at the Bitcoin ETFs getting approved, But yeah, I don't know. I think it does look good. Zcash itself probably looks good for a buy, a buy and hold. But I just think that there's other things that are going to promote more growth. 786, 886. There's nothing really lining up. I don't know if that's the right fib to take. You've got this high here. I don't know. I could see this thing moving up, anywhere from, I would think, above $10 by the end of this cycle, but below $20. I know that's a big range. I'm kind of thinking somewhere around like $15 to $17 by the end of the cycle is really what I'm thinking. But for the more immediate term, I wouldn't really expect anything to like pop off too soon. Again, I think that we are going to get a sell the news event. I think we're going to get some kind of move down across the board, and that could be not good for this thing. But ultimately, this chart does look better than the actual asset itself. I wouldn't assume this sees a lower low, but I would think that it goes lower in the more immediate term. I know that took a while, man, but I haven't, compared to BCHG and LTCN, I haven't really looked at this one as much. To be fair, bouncing right above your 618 like that is a good look. It actually is a good look. Like if it wasn't for my own personal bias and thoughts on Zcash itself, I would think that this thing has the potential to see even higher prices than what I'm giving it. But because of my bias, because of what I believe I know about Zcash, I would limit it to like something that's going to be below this line. You probably don't even see these highs. You could get above this high, but I would think, you know, that's like the ultimate like high of this cycle. You're probably going to get above here. You're probably not going to get above here. Somewhere in between really is my best guess. So that's Zcash. Let's move on to LTCN. Going on to there, Greyscale. And again, guys, I can be wrong. Been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Been right before. I'll be right again. It's not about that anyways, man. Top to bottom, where are we at? 382 coming down to the 236. Yeah, we're at 1040 now. We found a low at about $8.66. Wow, it went that low, huh? Was that today? No, that was yesterday. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, I thought it went to a low of like $9, but I guess it went a little bit lower. Yeah, I think it's going to go a little bit lower, probably below or around 725. It wouldn't be, it's not too concerning if it does go a little bit lower. You still have this weekly high close here. You even have some like resistance here, support back here. So, I mean, you could go below $5. That is absolutely possible. I'm not thinking that's going to happen, but even if you did that, that would still be a higher low. So you absolutely could go to that. You know, Goofy Titan, you were talking about Litecoin and how I could see Litecoin. Oh wait, no, that wasn't you, was it? Was it? Who was it? Oh, okay, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. I'm sorry. But let's see here. Let's see. Top. No, I already did that. I know I'm all over the place today, man. I didn't get good sleep last night. Bottom to top here. 382's down there, $8. Yeah, either however you want to cut it, whichever way you want to look at it. I do think that a little bit lower is where you're going. It's very common to go below your 382, right? You can find support here, but you can go below it and then like close above it, right? You could close below it and still be in good shape too, but nonetheless, I would think that you do go below $8. Seeing prices down around 725 wouldn't be too crazy. You do have this green line, the 123 coming into effect down there as well. And then again, talking about prices below $5, I know it sounds crazy, man, but the 618, 69 is down there. You just had a parabolic run. You could see a dramatic sell-off. You really could all the way down here. That was too big of a circle. Something like this down here and still be forming higher lows, you know. But personally, I would be looking for something in that $7 to $7.50 area, probably closer to $7.25, right in the middle there. So that's LTCN. Not a whole lot has changed. Actually, let's look at the daily. Just talking about day-to-day stuff. Yeah, you're probably not going to start moving up until you've at least hit this oversold zone. And even then, that doesn't mean you're going to move up immediately, right? Like, let's see. You hit the oversold zone here on like this day, but you kept moving down for like 3 or 4 days afterwards, right? And then even then you had a little pump up that day, or I guess like kind of, it looks like a bigger pump than it is. It actually only went up 3%. You just opened the day so low. You moved sideways for a little bit. So even once you got into the oversold zone, you still had like multiple weeks of just kind of boring price action. Before moving up, and even then still boring. So something like that could be in the cards where we drop down to, again, that like 720 area, we move sideways, maybe you move up a little bit, but sideways, and then sometime at the end of February, maybe sometime in March, maybe even a little bit later than that, it could be April that you see this thing like really start to take off again. But that should be good news to anybody that wants to buy this, because you're going to have time to accumulate, you know, save up some money, put cash into it if it's something that's interesting you, and don't get discouraged if it is boring. You know, don't fall prey to the classic setup where you're holding something, it's being boring, it's going down, it's moving sideways, and the thing that you're not invested in but you have your eyes on is going up. Don't sell. Not financial advice, do what you want, but don't fall prey to that, where you sell the thing that has yet to take off for the thing that has already taken off, and then you buy the thing that's high while you sold the thing that's low, and then the high thing goes down and then the low thing goes up. You know, don't buy low, sell high. That's the name of the game. So I hope that helps. I hope it wasn't too confusing. Definitely a lot shorter on that one, but again, we kind of already know what the game plan is with Litecoin. Let's see, BCHG here, breaking below the 50. Yeah, you're probably, oh man, hold on. You're near an area that you bounced before, but you had this structure before where now you're breaking out of it, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I stand by it though still, right? You had these higher lows where here this is like a notable lower low. You still are higher than this low. You're around your 40 area, your bearish area of control. You could see a momentary bounce somewhere in this area. And I would say, you know, the same thing stands for Litecoin too, because it has dropped off so much in such a short amount of time. You might be bouncing now. This might have been your bounce, and you're getting ready to move to the downside after this. But nonetheless, I do expect that BCHG will move lower. Bottom to top here, you're not even at your 236. That's crazy. That's at 268. You could move, man. You really could move all the way down to $1.78. And again, it's very common to go a little bit below the 382. And what's right below that 382? You got these previous areas of support right there at $1.50. Here you are at 353, a 50+% drop, even with the current week being down 21% already, more than that from the high. A greater than 50% drop is completely at play here. I don't think, you know, kind of like differently than Litecoin, I would say that the door is open to go to the 61869. For BCHG, it's not. I would say that more so, I don't think you go below this low. I do think you go below this line, but not too much below it, right? If that line's at $1.78, I would say $1.50 is probably where you would hold if you go below that, you know. And you might not even see $1.50. If I was looking to buy this, I wouldn't try to catch the bottom. Some people really try to catch the bottom. That's not my style. I would set a buy order believing what I believe is that this is going to go just a little bit below the 382. I'd probably buy just barely above it, like at $1.80, and take the loss that comes with it, because you know you're catching most of the move down. That's okay. At least you're getting in. I'm sure a lot of you have you know, and I've seen some comments, but I'm sure a lot of you have experienced the low liquidity of some of these trusts, and you can set buy orders and sell orders and nobody's taking you up on it, right? Even if you're selling it or buying it below the asking price or like the last price that was given. So don't mess around with it, right? Low liquidity stuff like this, and I mean BCHG is definitely more liquidity, like sizably more liquidity than LTCN is, but still, like my method, the way I would do it is as soon as it's below this green line, I would buy. I do expect it to go below this yellow line, but I'd probably buy just above it, and that's where that green line is too. So that's the 123 moving average for anybody that's curious about that. Yeah, man, I got nothing else to say. If you're wondering why the energy is a little bit different today, why I might be a little bit more tame, calm, is, you know, I'm trying to be quiet just because my wife is putting my daughter down in the room next door, so I'm trying to be a little bit quiet and not get so ramped up, you know. And then when she's tired, I'll probably later in the later videos I'll get a little bit more jacked. But for now, this is the tone I'm taking. So anyways, whatever. It's the end of the video. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you day in and day out, showing love, showing support. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.